Welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
You're listening to episode 22. Today we're going to be talking about Miss Marvel and the end of the series, which just released on Wednesday, just wrapped up on Wednesday. Josh has expressed that this is his favorite show that Marvel has put out on Disney Plus. So why don't you tell me a little bit about why?
Well, I'm just going to say it's my favorite show for a reason. I think a lot of it is because every time I watch the show, it just gave me like good feels. Other than like some parts of the show, but like the whole show as a whole. Every time I watched it, like I was excited for the next episode and like counting down the days to the next episode. And I only found myself doing that really with like WandaVision and Loki and Moon Knight. Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye and What If, like I was kind of like whatever about. But to me, like that's how I can like gauge like how much I like the show is like if I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Marvel's in 2 days. What the hell is going to happen? So it just gave me really good vibes. And I really like Imana Vellani a lot. And I loved just the whole family dynamic that she had, like the chemistry with her and the mom, the dad, the friends, her brother, even the Red Daggers for like the little bit that they were in, and the clandestines. Like because she had to have some chemistry with those characters too a little bit. So I don't know. I just thought the whole show itself was like great, and it's the highest rated Marvel show on Rotten Tomatoes at a 98%.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, that's just 2% away from 100.
No kidding. That's some good math. I liked the show, but it wasn't like keeping my attention very well. I was definitely bored kind of throughout.
That's crazy to me because you always like, I don't know, you reacted to this show a lot more than you did anything else that we've watched here recently.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to pay more attention since I knew we were going to be doing podcasts about it. I did like it. I feel like the first couple of episodes should have been smushed into one. I feel like the middle part was really good. Episode 5, which we just watched recently, was kind of slow. We had that whole 20-minute section where we're learning about Aisha, and although she's an integral part to like the character that we know, I didn't think we needed a full 20 minutes on it. But episode 6, that kept my attention.
Yeah.
It was really good.
No, I agree with the Aisha. My lowest rated episode, I would say. But I guess it just built the blocks, and it's kind of cool that Kamala was the one that showed her the way to the grandpa.
Yeah, I thought
to the dad.
I thought that was really special, and I was kind of waiting for her grandmother to like mention something when she saw her. Like maybe she remembered her face or something from when she was a child.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking she was going to say something like that, but she didn't. But I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And I liked that Aisha spoke to Kamala and was like,
yeah,
whatever. I don't know what she said, but she said whatever she said, and it was really cool and like emotional.
Yeah, it worked because, she showed up. So
yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool that, she got to meet her. But
and she's met her the whole time. She just didn't know it.
Yeah.
That's what's time loop. Crazy to think about, or try to wrap your brain around that is like, ooh, man, that's weird.
Yeah. But episode 6 was really fun.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
So I think it was at the end of episode 5 where her entire family kind of found out who she was. Was that at episode 5?
No.
Or beginning of episode 6?
The beginning of episode 6, when they're all sitting down.
Okay, yeah. So her whole family kind of finds out who she is.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yeah, and they all reacted so well, and they were so happy for her and so excited. And it just goes to show, like, what we've been saying this entire time. Like, I wish she had told her family sooner.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they just were they were so adorable about it.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom, which you love, I love her too. I think she's just a fantastic character and a really great mother.
Yeah.
Do you think she had her outfit specially made, or?
Oh, I think she made it.
She made it herself. I was kind of like,
I think that's what or she had one of the aunties and her like helped make it or something. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. So we have her mom who's like made her uniform, and her dad who ends up giving her superhero name.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really special. And they are just so supportive.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I love Yusuf. And I loved whenever she told them in the beginning, and she's like, I'm Nightlight. And the brother's like, oh my God, no way. and Kamal's like, you told him?
that whole scene with like, oh, well, we overheard on speakerphone. And then her dad was like, oh, it's just so convenient with speakerphone, which is true.
I love how the brother explained it. He said, you told Ami told Abu, and Abu uses speakerphone.
Yeah.
And told everyone.
Yeah. That was really good. Yeah, episode 6 was just like jam-packed with fun stuff.
Yeah.
We have that huge scene where the Department of
Damage Control.
Okay, I keep wanting to say Department of Defense, but that is not it. Damage Control is trying to bring Kamala and Kamran in because he has powers now too.
Yeah. So in episode 5, that's where we left off, was Kamran escaped. Well, Kamran got powers and went to Bruno's Circle Q apartment.
And he didn't know why he got the powers.
Yeah.
Until in episode 6.
And obviously he's asking Bruno like, hey, can I hang out here? Like Department of Damage Control is like trying to chase me down because we escaped the prison.
Yeah.
And then you see a drone and it blows up the Circle Q. So... yeah. And Kamala has no idea that this has all happened either. So in episode 6, you just get like this like crazy smash of like, have you heard from... because that's what happens when she's talking to the family. The brother's like, why is Nakia FaceTiming me right now?
Yeah. She got... yeah.
Yeah.
Find out that was blown up, and then we're trying to make sure that Bruno's alive, which he is, obviously. And then pretty much all of episode 6 is like this cool defensive fight scene.
Yeah.
in the school.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
I loved whenever she suited up and it like showed her like just her feet as she was like running on the hard light crystals.
Yeah.
And she stops at the stoplight. And then she goes again when it turns green.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
I laughed out loud. Because it was, I mean... I like the detail. It was kind of cheesy, but
no, it was funny.
It was funny. Yeah. So they go to the high school, and they're trying to prepare for the Department of Damage Control.
Yeah,
coming to get them, basically.
That whole scene where she's like drawing it out. Well, first off, we get Zoe. Is it Zoe?
Zoe.
Yeah. She shows up.
Yeah, I know. And she's really likable.
Yeah.
And we find out in this episode that she knew it was Kamala from when Kamala saved her at the beginning of the show. And she's kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so sweet. She was like, it wasn't my secret to tell.
Yeah. That was super cool.
Yeah.
And I think in the comics, I'm not going to state this 100%, but I'm pretty sure that Zoe was one of her like good friends after that whole thing with the accident and everything. When Kamal saved her, at least.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the comics, it wasn't Avengers Con; it was something else. But I don't know what it was.
Yeah. But I think Zoe's really likable. I think she's really cool. And if we get her friends.
Yeah, and if we get a season 2, she'll definitely be in it, or she'll be in the Miss Marvel, or the Marvels movie.
Yeah. So, do you think we're gonna get a season 2?
With how highly rated this show is,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think so. And like Iman is just like, she's a giant MCU fan, and I think that's what like a lot more people like her because of that, and
Mm-hmm.
like backing her a little bit. So I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great show. Now where it starts and like how we get season 2 is like a whole other thing, because like we'll have the Marvels to watch first, where she's going to be in it. So like, where does that chapter end, and where does like season 2 pick up? Does
Mm-hmm.
it pick up like where she's in space or doing something like off world, or does it pick up back like kind of with their friends or their? I mean, because obviously, big spoiler here, she's a mutant. So that's a complete change in the comics where she's an Inhuman, which I'm totally fine with because I like mutants a lot better than the Inhumans.
So Josh was sitting in the living room with me while I finished episode 6. And he was like, listen to this, rewind it, listen to this. And he was like, she's a mutant. And I was like, cool.
Well, I mean, they played the X-Men.
I would have
animated
never
series,
yeah, I know, and I'm just like a normal person. I didn't catch that. And even the whole, your genes are mutated. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, as soon as you say mute.
No,
like,
oh
my gosh, she's a mutant.
Obviously, now
Yeah.
you got to pay attention to every single word. But yeah, episode 6, so good.
Yeah. I really kind of going like someone calls it word vomiting, where I'm just like going to say a bunch of stuff at once.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fight scene with the Department of Damage Control and her friends in the school.
Yeah,
and her brother. Her brother shows up as like a chaperone. That's what he kind of said. He's like, I'm chaperoning you. And she's like, I don't need chaperone. We're trying to stop these guys.
Yeah, so I really liked that scene. Towards the beginning of it, I was like, okay, how has no one gotten shot yet?
Mm-hmm.
Because this, like in the real world, they would have been shot. I think at least a couple of them, but they didn't. And then we kind of got warmed up where they were like defending themselves a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of got real, but at the beginning, I'm like, okay, no one's gotten shot yet.
Well,
That's
they aren't using
crazy.
like actual guns. They're using those cannons.
Yeah, I know. Like what is it?
Sound wave cannons.
The sound wave, but it would have like knocked them over.
Yeah, like it did it towards the end.
Yeah, at the end, that's what I'm saying. That it got more intense,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like they weren't holding back. But like at the beginning, it's like, okay, these are just a bunch of kids, really. Like you can't even get in a shot. You're like the Department of Damage Control.
Well, that's the thing too. They're a bunch of kids, and they don't know. Obviously, like once they figured out, like, okay, there's multiple people here.
Yeah.
Other than the 2 powered people that they know of. If it was just the 2 powered people and that's like all they could see, I would say there'd be a little more like bang bang. You know what I mean? Shooting a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they wanted more collateral damage because they're already in front of a school,
Mm-hmm.
which the head guy of the Department of Damage Control was like, listen here, you need to fall back now. You're in front of a school. You're like on live TV.
Yeah.
Like, get out of there. And the lady's like, nope, we're going in. She didn't say that to him, but she said call all backup units or whatever.
The casting choice for her was great because she looked like a bitch.
Yeah. So that whole fight scene with them was great. And then like the big fight scene with, and it wasn't really like Kamala versus Kamran. It was like Kamran still doesn't know like what the hell's happening to his like powers.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamala is just like using her full powers at this point. And she says her famous like "embiggen" line, which is like
Get
classic
big.
in the comics.
Like
Yeah. Where she gets big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm invested in this like 100%. This is really cool.
I was
and I'm
excited
glad
to see that.
And I'm glad it wasn't like there was so much debate on like how she was in the comics versus how she is in the show. And I honestly like the Hard Light Crystal like version of herself. I think a little bit better than I do as like a Mr. Fantastic kind of person.
Yeah. Well, so Grayson watches the Spider-Man kids show on Disney Plus, and she's in, I don't know how many episodes. I just happened to notice her in one of the episodes. And she's like walking around like super tall with her like giant hands. Mm-hmm. And it just looks so silly. Yeah. So I'm glad they did it this way.
Yeah. And like, if you want to read that, or if you want to see that, like read it in the comics. Like if they adapt it in the future, like maybe it won't look as bad as I'm thinking it might look, but like this just looks way better, and it fits like the cosmic, like obviously we're getting the Marvels vibe kind of a whole lot better than just like it's a girl that can grow really tall and make her hands really big.
Well, yeah, and I would imagine that this is much easier to like make it look real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, we're going to make her have like really stretchy limbs with giant hands, and we're going to try to make that look realistic.
Yeah. We're going to get that with Mr. Fantastic and the Fantastic Four eventually, so.
Has there been anything come out of that? Fantastic Four?
No, not yet. Comic-Con is coming up, so hopefully we'll get some news there.
I feel like July 20th and 21st is going to be like an epic couple of days.
Yeah, and we'll be on vacation. I guess. Let's see here.
What is that? What day is that?
I think
it's a week from today. Today's Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Never mind. We won't be on vacation, but we'll be really close to vacation.
Really close. Yeah. We're a week and a half away, and it cannot come soon enough.
Yeah. So you can pretty much guarantee the 23rd and 24th and the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. We're probably not going to be doing any episodes.
Yeah. But we'll hammer a lot out on the 25th.
Yep.
And 26th probably. But anyway, lots of things are going to be kind of coming to light here at the end of July. Just a lot of things are being released. Mm-hmm. A lot of news.
There's a lot of news right now. Mm-hmm. But we'll finish our thoughts on Ms. Marvel before we get too ahead of ourselves. But like I said, like the whole like embiggen was awesome. When she smashes that truck, and then I don't know if I think Kamran, like when he's like exploding, when he's like sitting there like and like everything's like all the little hard light crystals are like coming out of him. Mm-hmm. The Hummer that like almost crushes the people when she grabs it with her hands, that made me well up for some reason.
I did not get emotional, like in the sense like I was gonna tear up, but okay, so a lot of things during the scene, like at the beginning when they're shooting at her and she's got her like crystal shield.
Oh yeah.
And her parents are freaking out.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
Oh, yeah.
But towards the end, when she turns into a badass, her parents are just freaking out in a good way, cheering her on. And I thought they were so adorable.
Yeah.
I loved that. They are her biggest fans.
Yeah. Like I said, like every episode, Maniba and Yosef, I like just grew on me even more. And especially Maniba.
I know.
By the time... Like at the end of episode 5, when they're all three sitting in there, and they're like flipping through that old photo album, and she's like, "Who's that?" And that's your mom. And she's like, ew, no way. And like her mom looks like a rebel. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool.
So we see that picture in the photo album,
Mm-hmm.
and Maniba is like totally 80s glammed out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I love that the grandma talks about she's like some rock star, and the mom was like, Bon Jovi. Because obviously, like, she's loves Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
Jovi. Whatever his name is.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say, like, obviously you love the show.
Yeah.
I loved episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would watch the show again
Really?
for quite a while.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, because it just, like, from week to week, I really wasn't that excited to watch it. Like when we watched Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Mm-hmm.
I was freaking pumped. Like I rearranged my day to try to watch the episode. And on this, I'm like, okay, well, you know, I didn't watch episode 5 this week. So now I have to watch episode 5 and episode 6 in one day. And it kind of felt like a chore, you know, because I just wasn't that excited about it.
Crazy.
But like I said, episode 6 is like what I wanted the whole show to be. And I get it. It's like a character origin story.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I do understand we needed to build that background. We needed to build a foundation. But I just feel like it was a little too slow for me. Okay. But I'm glad for the show that it's been really well received.
Yeah.
But I like episode 6. I like the action-packed sequences. And I think that if they do come out with a season 2, which I think they will,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll like season 2 because
You're more connected to these characters.
yeah, you're more connected to the characters. She's more comfortable in her own body and she's more confident in her abilities. She's got her whole family as a support system. And so I think season 2, I would just like to see her like the way that we saw her in episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, if I had to rate the show, probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Yeah.
It's definitely like a 9 out of 10 for me.
I'm
not going to give it a perfect score because I don't think like, man, to be like a perfect movie, you've got to really like really special or like a perfect show. But I would give it a solid like 9 out of 10.
Thor.
Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah.
You give that a 10 out of 10?
It's a near perfect movie. Near perfect.
In your eyes, yes.
Oh yeah.
The internet would say otherwise.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I'm still. We'll go on a whole spiel after this, but the ending of Miss Marvel, to me, as in like the last part of the episode when she gets her name, that whole scene made me like really teary-eyed when she's talking to her dad on the roof.
You are surprising me at, like, I love the characters. I felt connected to the characters, but I was not like super emotionally invested, you know? And I think you were.
Yeah.
That scene made me happy. It didn't make me want to cry.
I wasn't like bawling.
No,
but
I know. But like, you either feel one way or you feel another.
It's like welled up as in like, wow, like she's come full circle. Like she's not like who she was in episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just completely like transparent with her parents.
Yeah.
And like, just, I don't know, that whole scene, it was just like, it really got me. And I mean, like I said, I wasn't like bawling, but like there was definitely like tears in my eye.
So the end, we have a big cameo.
Oh, post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, but Carol Danvers, Brie Larson, shows up. And it's kind of weird how it all happened. So the closing mid-credits, the mid-credits stop. And it shows Kamala like jumping on her bed, and Maniba in the background's like, Kamala, that does not sound like science homework. And like her bangle just starts like, it's got this like purplish blue aura like around it. And she stands up and like she's like, I don't know if she's like backing up, but she's like stands up and starts walking. And then all of a sudden she just like gets thrown back and like shrinks at the same time. Did you see that? How like,
yes. So obviously you're going to have to explain to me what is happening now.
Okay. So I don't know.
There's a lot of theories out there.
So I don't know. I'm not saying like what happened, but like to me, it looked like a fabric of reality, like bend.
Okay.
How it was like, whoosh,
so
that like squiggly line.
So where is Kamala?
Wherever Captain Marvel was.
Okay, so they just like switch places.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think. No idea.
Yeah.
Because the bangle is completely new like thing to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's not related to Miss Marvel at all. She doesn't wear that in like the comics.
Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. Okay.
Neither does Captain Marvel. So there's like a lot of theories on like what Kamala's band is, like what the bangle is. A lot of people say it's the nega bands or the quantum bands, which is the quantum bands are kind of similar to like a Green Lantern ring where they can make hard light constructs, which would kind of make sense. And we don't know like if the Kree's involved in these bangles or like we don't know who's involved.
Right.
And this kind of goes back to Shang-Chi with the 10 rings. Carol was in that post-credit scene too, and she had no idea what they were, but it was putting out a beacon. So was Kamala's bangle like putting out a beacon to save Carol? Or, I mean, like, who knows? Like but obviously that's how Kamala and Carol are now connected through the bangle. So I have no idea like what's going to happen or like what is happening in that scene. I just know that they switch spots and Carol's back on Earth and Kamala's wherever I'm assuming Carol was.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun if we start the movie with Carol going through like whatever space escapades that she's doing. And then all of a sudden it goes to like that post-credit scene. You see Kamala like just pop up.
Yeah. That would be really cool. So when is the Marvels coming out? Do we have a release date?
We don't have a release date, but I think they're going to announce it at Comic-Con.
I keep asking questions and you're like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Comic-Con.
Well, this is, Marvel Studios' first like appearance back at Hall H.
I mean, it says
Comic-Con. I know it's 2023.
It says July 28th, 2023. So just over a year from now.
Okay. That's it should, I don't think it should change, but.
So the director, do we know what else have they directed?
The director?
Nia DaCosta?
I'm not sure, but I know she's pregnant and or she's like having a baby right now or something.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is because she won't be at the at Comic-Con this year because of that.
So it kind of looks like the Marvels is like gonna be her big break.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
same way with Zoe Chow, the girl that did the Eternals movie, which you haven't watched yet.
Is it good?
It's not great, but you need to watch it.
What was the TV show on Disney Plus that you thought was terrible? Was it the Eternals?
No.
What one was that?
That's the Inhumans.
Oh, and that was terrible as well.
The IMAX TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful. This is the Eternals. It's completely, I mean, same but completely different.
The Eternals has Prince Charming in it from Cinderella.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. You need to watch that just so you like know like what's happening.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
For context.
Yeah. So
what was bad about it?
About Eternals?
Mm-hmm. Was it just like cheesy
no,
or
it
bad
wasn't
acting,
cheesy.
bad script?
You know how you don't like Zack Snyder's Justice League. The really long
I haven't
Justice League.
seen it.
You hadn't seen it?
No.
I would have swore you watched it with me.
No. Don't say that because people are going to hate on me. So you watched the Zack Snyder cut and I walked in and I was like, whoa, what is this? And you're like, it's the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But I've never seen it because it's like 4 hours.
I thought you watched it with me.
Mm-mm. I would like to watch it.
Anyway.
We're way off topic at this point.
Anyway, that Eternals is like very much similar to like a Zack Snyder stylized movie. Very slow pacing, like a lot of dialogue, somewhat action. Crap, I can't even think of her name. Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
She's in the movie. And like every time she's in it, like she really like steals the show. Mm-hmm. But I mean, beyond that, like that's about the best part of the movie. I watched the movie and it was like okay, but I was not like, oh my gosh, this movie's absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
It's like a pretty movie, but it's world building, and I think they just put like a lot of pressure on Chloe Zhao. I don't know how you say her last name, but the director, because this is her first like, wow, you're a big movie director kind of movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that situation is like, but if you're going to give someone the chance, like give them the chance and let them have creative freedom with it.
She had creative freedom, and that's I think a lot of why people have backlashed against it, because it's very out of like the MCU feel. When you watch it, you'll understand. We'll have to watch it at some point.
But how much was she being micromanaged? Or was she just like completely on her doing
no
whatever?
idea. But everyone says that she did a movie called I think it's Nomad or something like that, or Nomadland, and it's pretty much just like that, but with superheroes. Okay. So I can't say because I haven't watched the movie, but that's just what everyone has said. Okay. It's an okay movie. It's definitely towards the bottom of my MCU list, but it's not like unwatchable. Yeah. So. Okay. Wow. What a rant.
Yeah. That was widely off topic, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, you just kept drawing me in. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to explain Eternals real quick.
Well, you're just much more well educated on everything that we're going to talk about in most of our podcasts than I am. So. Okay.
Well, let's talk more news here. Okay. We are 1 week out of watching Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, one week past.
Okay. Yeah.
So what? Like after a week, it hasn't felt like a week. It feels like way longer than a week. Mm-hmm. But like, where are you with this movie? Because the more I sat on it, the more I have feelings about it. So. Kind of just like quick.
Yeah, I love the movie. Mm-hmm. Definitely top 5, maybe even top 3. Okay. We have talked about this in our other podcasts about needing to do an MCU rewatch so that we can kind of, reorder and pick out our top 10 and kind of, change the order of them. Yes. But I loved it. I want to see it again. We started watching Ragnarok, which we've talked about in this podcast. Yeah. But we did not get very far into it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to rewatch Thor. So
Thor 1.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because at some point in time you were watching Thor: The Dark World. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to click on that. It was in the middle of the movie and I finished it. And then I was like, oh, we need to start over. And so we watched Thor. I don't know if you were there or not.
I didn't
You're
watch
probably
Thor.
asleep on the couch.
I watched part of the movie with you and then I fell asleep, yes. Because it was like super late and you didn't have to work the next day.
Yeah, so watched Thor, which was way better than I remember, the first one. Mm-hmm. Probably because I've gotten to love the characters now. And also, so after that, then I rewatched Thor: The Dark World again.
Uh-huh.
And again, way better than I remember. And that one was not on my top 10 list. But I feel like these Thor movies should be. They're so good.
Man.
I feel like Ragnarok. Okay, I'm going to people are going to come for me on this one. I feel like Ragnarok is probably my least favorite Thor movie.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. Shocking. But we still have to finish it again.
Yeah, we just need to restart it.
But basically, seeing Thor: Love and Thunder has sent us into a Thor obsessed week where we've been really focused on that. And I just loved the movie. It was so good.
Agreed. I absolutely love the movie. However, I need to watch it again to make my final critique, but I think I know whereabouts it lands on my list, and I think Ragnarok edges it out a smidgen, as in it's going to probably be ranked like one above it.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because the parts of Ragnarok that I rewatched, there was something magical in the movie theater watching Ragnarok that I remember of being like, holy crap, look what they've done to Thor and like how cool this is now. It may be because that Marvel Studios had like the reins on Taika Waititi like a little more, and like this movie is more of a Taika Waititi film, or Thor: Love and Thunder is at least. Maybe that's the difference that I'm having in between the two movies, but I mean, they're both still super good in my opinion. But I think Ragnarok, just because it was so special, it's got Doctor Strange in it for just a tiny fraction of a second.
I forgot he was in it until we were kind of rewatching it.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, I like it so much more, too, is because Tom Hiddleston.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Tom Hiddleston. I think he's great. And I love the character of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at.
Okay. I think I will say the next Thor movie,
man,
it is going to probably be my favorite. Just because
this movie is definitely going to be on my top 10.
Oh, it's going to be my absolute favorite. So this one's going to be number 2, and then the next Thor movie is going to be number 1.
Ashley's just going to have all of the Thor movies in the top 5 by the time we get the 5th movie. So we'll have 5 movies at that point.
Well, whatever we have previously talked about in our Thor podcast, which you guys can listen to if you want, where you kind of theorized about what you thought was going to happen in the next movie. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, if that is the case, it is going to be freaking phenomenal. Like if Jane becomes a Valkyrie and can travel from Valhalla to wherever, I freaking love that. It is so cool. And I hope we get Anthony Hopkins.
Oh,
I love that.
I need a Anthony Hopkins in Valhalla.
Yes.
Drinking and telling war stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And
like he doesn't even have to like fight or anything. He's just got to be there and like maybe like guide Jane a little bit. We can get
Thor's mother is going to be there too. And I loved her. Watching The Dark World, I just loved his mom. She is such a great character.
Oh, yeah. And then in Endgame, we get like a whole...
Yeah. So I want to see more of her.
It's the chills. I got chills right now thinking about that in Endgame.
Yeah. So definitely love the Thor movies.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at on Thor. Mm-hmm. We see where Ashley's at on Thor. Another bit of news. So this is going to be like the whole like MCU news section here. Okay. So I know you did not like this movie. I know you've watched it, but I know you didn't like it. Was the Han Solo project?
I didn't watch the whole movie.
You didn't watch the whole movie?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's like one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Okay. So the older that I get, if I'm bored, I will turn it off and I won't finish it. I've done that with several of the relatively new Star Wars.
Yeah, and it irritates the shit out of me. Because she's just like, I'm just going to play on my phone.
My time is valuable, and if it's turning to crap, it's going off, and I'm going to go do something else.
Okay. Says the girl that watches Halloween Town.
It's not crap.
It's crap.
People are going to come for you. I hope they do.
Come.
I'll be leading that
Team
pack.
Hocus Pocus. Halloween Town sucks. So, anyway, the Han Solo actor, Alden Ehrenreich, I don't know how you say his last name. He has joined the cast of the Ironheart TV series, which Ironheart is going to show up in the Wakanda Forever Black Panther movie, the sequel. So,
wow,
he's coming to the MCU. I know you don't. Oh, I won't even say anymore since you said that. So
since I said what?
Said that. Oh, I'll just turn it off if I don't like it.
You know that about me by now.
Our next bit of news is that we've got our first set photos behind the scenes of Loki season 2. Owen Wilson is back in the show. Tom Hiddleston's back. Sophia DiMartino, I think is how you say her name. DiMartinez. She's back as Sylvie. And we also have another variant TVA person that shows up, and they're at a McDonald's, and it looks like this is a McDonald's from like the 70s, because that's what kind of cars are
cool
in the pictures as well.
I
have no idea.
I will rewatch Loki because I do want to watch season 2.
Mm-hmm.
You
have to rewatch all the shows.
Probably not all of them. Depends on what's going to be getting a season 2 besides Loki.
All of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I will then.
Let's see here. Okay. This is spoiler scoop. Who knows if this is true or not? So take this with an absolute grain of salt. This is a supposed leak for Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. What's going to be shown for the Marvel panel? Okay. So this is a whole list of things that is about to happen. So first thing up, Deadpool, as in Deadpool 3. Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds will be in attendance to announce the next Deadpool movie, which isn't titled Deadpool 3. Director Sean Levy will send in a video. I don't know what that means. So I'm saying this is all speculation, but some of it could be true.
Okay. What else?
Black Panther 2, Ryan Coogler, Denai Guerrera, Tanak, so I'm going to butcher this, Hirata, and Dominique Thorne will be present and bring their first trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I can't wait to see that trailer.
Yeah, that's going to be super. I can't wait to see the movie because it's going to be super.
It's going to be very emotional for everyone who goes to see it.
Yeah, super emotional, and it's almost like a new movie. We got Black Panther, this is obviously Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. So it's like a sequel, but it almost feels like a new movie. So there's a lot of speculation for this movie, which I'll get into in a minute because I have some more rumor mill news for you. Secret Invasion TV series on Disney Plus. No one will be in attendance for the Secret Invasion, but they will reveal the main cast and share some footage.
Okay.
Blade. Mahershala Ali, Kit Harington, Aaron Pierce, Milan Ray, and Bassam Tarek will be in attendance for some news. One big piece of news is that Anthony Starr will play Dracula, and Anthony Starr is the guy that plays Homelander on The Boys. So Dracula is like a bad guy.
So they're redoing the Blade series?
Yes.
Okay.
This is MCU Blade, not oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on it. Wesley Snipes Blade. Mm-hmm. Totally different.
Okay.
The Marvels. Here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about earlier, but I was like, oh, I'll just wait till we get there. Brie, Iman, and Tiana will be there when they show their first footage. Zoe Ashton will not be present due to her pregnancy. Anson Mount will will reprise his role as Black Bolt. Jodie Turner-Smith will join as Medusa in the post-credits of the movie, setting up a Universal and Humans as a big cosmic story going forwards.
Okay.
So we might be getting Inhuman stuff, but at this point, like, who knows? And like I said, this is all like rumor stuff, and I don't even know.
Pretty legit.
Yeah, so take this with a grain of salt, everything I say. World War Hulk was originally going to be a movie. It is now being turned into a 4-part series for Disney Plus that may have a small theatrical release. This could possibly be the big Avengers event before Secret Wars with many big characters. I think that is the one that I don't believe the most. A World War Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Or TV series.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to drop everything just on Disney Plus, and then they're going to drop something on Disney Plus and then do a theatrical release, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
I just don't buy the World War Hulk storyline yet. Unless something happens in She-Hulk that changes my mind, we'll see. But at this point, I'm not buying it. Because I think they'll have to have some sort of She-Hulk presentation at San Diego Comic-Con, because She-Hulk, I think, comes out in like a month.
I think it's like August 28th or August 21st or August 28th, something like that.
Yeah, so we're like 5 weeks out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 more things. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. A majority of the cast will be in attendance, and they will show some footage.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, after watching Thor: Love and Thunder, I am very invested in what's going to happen in Guardians Volume 3.
You think Thor will be in it?
I don't. No, because I think.
Is it after Love and
Thunder? James Gunn commented on that, and he said, "Don't get your hopes up for Thor appearing in Guardians Volume 3."
Mm-hmm.
So I doubt he shows up. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We will see some footage with actors Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and the girl that's playing her, Cassie Lang. Mm-hmm. I don't know her name. Something Newton will be present. Jonathan Majors will send in a video as Kang.
Okay.
Obviously, Kang was in Loki, but you don't know that because you didn't finish Loki. It's like throwing you under the bus whenever I can.
Clearly.
Okay, this is a new one. Wonder Man will be announced with Henry Golding as Simon Williams. An interesting detail is that Evan Peters is returning as Ralph Boner, which you might remember from WandaVision. Evan Peters.
My brain.
Her brother.
Okay.
Not her real brother, but her fake brother that she thought.
Oh,
Pietro.
Okay.
So he's returning, but may have a new name. Will likely be a side character in the show. And last but not least, a big thing for me, Daredevil, A Man Without Fear, will be announced with Charlie Cox starring along with Isa Gonzalez as Elektra.
All right.
So this is all speculation. I don't know if I don't know if any of this is true or not. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, potentially there could be some things in there that are correct and some things that are just bullcrap. So, last bit of news, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. This is a potential plot leak for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So, major spoilers if you believe this is true or not. So, I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And like, here's what I think. It's like, if anyone really thinks about like, oh, I'm going to make a movie, or like, I'm going to make a like Cliff Note version of what Thor 5 is going to be like. Mm-hmm. This is what this is kind of like. And I think if anyone really thinks about it, like, they could probably do it, but this is pretty interesting because it comes with like visual art of Doctor Doom.
I'm ready.
Big thing here.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Lake Bell plays a scientist who is an original character. She and her team searching for vibranium in the ocean thanks to a device made by Riri Williams, Ironheart. Namor is awakened and kills her team. Namor asks Wakanda for help, but they turn him down. T'Challa passes away from sickness. Namor wants to kill Riri, but Wakanda protects her. Riri's first suit, she's like an Iron Man.
Okay.
As I know you don't know who she is, but she's similar to, she like reverse engineers Tony Stark's suit.
Okay.
Riri's first suit is made of cars, but when she gets to Wakanda, she gets one made out of vibranium. Crazy cool if that happens. A war between Wakanda and the Atlanteans starts. Shuri's mom passes away and parts of Wakanda are flooded. Shuri makes an artificial flower to gain the Black Panther powers and gain access to the ancestral plane. She expects to see T'Challa, but she meets Killmonger.
Okay.
He helps her become the new Black Panther. Shuri makes her own Black Panther suit.
The Atlanteans, like Aquaman?
No, but yes, kind of. That's the whole thing. Namor was before Aquaman. Aquaman was a copy of Namor.
Okay.
But different. A big war between the two nations. Shuri defeats Namor but doesn't kill him. M'Baku is the new king of Wakanda while Shuri is the Black Panther. Nakia tells Shuri that she has a son from T'Challa. God, I cannot talk tonight.
You're too excited.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you're too excited. Is you're like, I gotta get it out.
So if that's true, that's crazy because that means he has a son.
Mm-hmm.
Post-credit scene. They filmed this with a stand-in Doctor Doom, which is thought to be the one who sent Lake Bell's team in the beginning of the movie because he is a big like vibranium amplifies magical powers. And Doctor Doom is a magical character. So, like, he uses that to amplify his powers.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just a potential plot leak for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Like I said, take that with a grain of salt. If any of that's true, you didn't hear it from me. I don't know what I'm saying. But I don't want that to ruin your movie experience if that's true or not. But I don't 100% think it's going to be true. But it would be cool if some of it was true.
I don't think it'll ruin anyone's experience because it gives it a whole different meaning when you're in a theater, you're watching the characters, you're making connections with the characters. To me, like, it's hard to follow when you're just kind of like very briefly talking about the plot of something. Yeah.
No, I get that. I just wanted to warn people before they like come at me with pitchforks saying like, you son of a bitch, you said that this. And I'm like, no, I warned you. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
That's just like some Marvel Cinematic Universe news.
Did you get that thing on Facebook I sent you about Echo?
No.
You never read my stuff that I send you, Josh? Josh sends me so much stuff on TikTok and on Facebook all of the time. But this is concept art for the Disney Plus series.
Oh, I did see that. For Echo?
Uh-huh. That's what I just said, Echo.
Yeah. I thought, yeah, that looks really cool.
So what is it supposed to be about?
Watch Hawkeye and then maybe you'll find out.
Oh, my God.
Because she's in Hawkeye. So you'll have to watch it.
Okay.
That's all I can say about that.
All right. What else do you have for today?
That's really about it.
I was not prepared because I didn't know you had all of this stuff to talk about. I thought you were just going to be talking about Miss Marvel. But you did a great job.
Well, I just wanted to give everyone the fill in here.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be a 25-minute episode. I mean, it was longer than 25 minutes when we were talking about Miss Marvel, but I was a little worried there at first. I was like, oh, man, we're going to wrap this episode up real quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have anything else to add. I'm probably going to do some research on some Disney news over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll probably do a Disney news episode, kind of similar to this one where it's like at the back half of the podcast episode, but we'll obviously let you all know when we do that. So make sure you all follow us on Instagram at BTE Podcast. It is linked in the description of this podcast. We are up on quite a few platforms now. So we're up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Google Podcast, and Amazon Music and Audible.
Yeah. So
that it was to me when we got on, and it was really easy, guys. Like I think we talked about before where we were like, oh, it's so much work. Amazon Music was extremely easy to set up, and when it went through, it just felt like a big moment to me. So that was really exciting. And I know when we got approved for the Google Podcast, you were really excited about that. So
yeah, but here's the thing. I still can't find our podcast on Google Podcast. Which is crazy because I've been looking and looking and looking. I still can't find it.
We might have to do something on the computer there, but it's too late tonight to do that. But anyway, all that to say is that we're progressing and we're growing. Our Doctor Strange podcast has become pretty popular on YouTube. And so I listened to part of it today. Actually, I think I listened to the whole thing today. And the audio is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Because we only had one mic for just that one episode. We had the welcome episode and then that episode with just the one mic. And then we were like, yeah, we kind of need to invest in a second mic. But the audio is terrible. So I'm happy that we got a second mic, but I also wish we had it for that episode because I think the content was really good.
No, I totally agree.
But anyway.
But yeah, that video has been blowing up. Like, a little context, we had like 2,000 views last week. And on like Wednesday of last week, we had 2,500 views. Today we have like over 12,000 views at this point. So we've had like 10,000 views in a week. Yeah,
we've got quite a few subscribers on YouTube from that. So pretty exciting stuff. We're just having a great time over here.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening today. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, give us a rating, like, comment, subscribe, whatever, depending on your platform. It's kind of weird with podcasts being able to being able to be like, oh, hey, subscribe to our channel. You don't have to. I don't know what all of the platforms are like because like I know you can subscribe like on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, just follow us.
Yeah.
Follow
Stick around.
on anywhere.
Stick around. We've got some fun things coming. So
yeah, and hopefully some big things coming. Like potential big things that we can't discuss yet, but we'll see.
Okay.
So we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.